I'm Lucas, and it is Tuesday. It's TOEFL Tuesday, so I'm here to tell you some tips for the TOEFL, and specifically writing tips. This week, we're going to talk about the first of 3 tips over the next 2 weeks after today. There will be a total of 3 videos explaining some of the best things you can do on your independent essay. This is, again, specific to the independent essay. That is the second essay on the test. It is the longer essay at 30 minutes. And independent means that there's no listening and there's no reading. It's only writing. You just have a question and you write your answer. So, what's our tip? The first tip, and this might be surprising, write the introduction last. If you have studied with Magoosh GRE, you might have seen this advice in our GRE material as well, because we do recommend this for the GRE too. Writing the introduction last is an interesting strategy that works really well on computer tests. It's hard to do this on paper tests when you're writing with a pencil or pen, right? Always a pencil, actually. But on a computer test, you can write your first body paragraph and then your second body paragraph, and after that you can bring the cursor back to the beginning of the essay, the writing space, and write your introduction. Why would you do that? What's the point? That seems strange, right? You always write from the introduction to the end, right? No, because when you start your introduction, it's possible you don't know everything you're going to say. You have such a short time to prepare for this, and you have such a short time to write it, that you think while you're writing a little bit. So if you start with body paragraph 1, you can focus on that, and then later come back to the introduction when you know what you're going to say. This helps you to start writing sooner, because you don't want to have to plan everything perfectly before you start writing. Although planning is important. Planning is so important. But you don't need a perfect plan. You can have a pretty good plan and then start writing and then come back later. It also helps because it's easier to connect things. If, for example, you have reason A and reason B in your body paragraphs, when you write your introduction later, you can connect to reason A and reason B based on what you wrote, not based on what you think you will write. So you can make those connections to your later paragraphs better and make a smoother introduction. And finally, it helps because you don't need to know both reasons. This is about the planning. Now, I should make one thing clear. I really want you to think of both reasons before you start writing. That will be better. I see this with students all the time. If you start writing and you don't know what you're going to say, you will probably repeat yourself many times. You won't have meaningful sentences. If you know what you will say, if you plan well, then you will have more meaningful, clear sentences with better structure. But imagine on test day, you've been sitting there for 4 minutes thinking, and you only have one reason. And you're starting to panic, and you're getting really scared because you only have one reason and you haven't started writing and 4 minutes have passed. Okay, in that case, start writing. Write your first body paragraph with that one reason you have, and come back to the second reason later in your second body paragraph. Then you can plan that after you finish your first body paragraph. And writing the introduction last means you can think about what your second body paragraph is after you write it. You don't need to plan it all ahead of time. So again, the big tip for this week, try writing that intro paragraph last. That should say last. And you'll see it might actually save you a lot of time. I hope that helps. If you want more advice, check out TOEFL.magoosh.com. We'd love to see you there. Again, I'm Lucas from Magoosh, and happy studying.